Good evening, everyone. This is the Sounds Welcome podcast, and this is our final episode for this season. And on this episode, we're starting off with my good friend, Jackson Fritz, a.k.a. Chameleon Factory, performing on his Moog Sub Fatty. So stay tuned for a great performance from him. And then we'll be talking with my friend Santiago Ramones and my friend Ty Fan on our favorite albums of the decade. So get hyped for that list. You're listening to Sounds Welcome. All right, and that was Jackson Fritz, a.k.a. Chameleon Factory, here in the booth tonight. And thank you so much for that awesome performance. That was really sick.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Sorry for the mistakes.
No, don't apologize. And I just want everyone else that's in the booth tonight, we can just go down the line and you guys can introduce yourselves and a little bit about what you do. And then we'll just jump right into this best album of the decade list.
Real quick, his mic isn't recording able. It says, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait.
But hey, that worked. I didn't expect that to work.
It worked.
Okay, yeah. You can cut that little clip out, but yeah.
No, we like to keep it raw.
Okay.
Here.
All right, start. Jackson, since you're down the line.
I'm starting?
Yeah, well, just say it, introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My name is Jackson Fritz. Met Kaylin here in Norman and a bunch of other people and trying to play music as best as I can, even when going gets rough. But that's pretty much it.
We thought it was a stellar performance.
Yeah, it was just really dope. Love hearing it.
I did
that. I'm Santiago Ramones. I am a composer, podcast host, producer, songwriter, performer. I think that's the shortest way I can put it.
That's a dope. That's the dopest, quickest resume I've ever heard.
Well, thank you.
I'm Ty Fan, and I'm a structural engineer. So I've met Kaylin for a couple years now at a place called Second Wind Coffee, and it's a pretty neat place.
Sweet. Shout out Second Wind.
Yeah, shout out.
All right. So I know Jackson, you told me that you kind of have like some honorable mentions that you wanted to dish out throughout this podcast, but I know that what am I even saying? Santiago and Ty came in here today with a list of their top 10 albums. So we can just kind of get started on Santiago's and then move on to Ty and then kind of talk about. I think we're gonna have some agreeable albums in our list, so I'm just looking forward to seeing what we all say. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Am I starting? All right.
Go for it.
I guess I'll go in like chronological order rather than like the order that I pulled these up in. So I'll start with Björk, Biophilia. That was 2011.
That was 2011.
I didn't want to do Volnicora, however you want to pronounce that, or Utopia. I think Biophilia had more of a like impact. She made like 3 apps or something for the release of the album, and it was a whole experience. And it's just the album itself is a beautiful experience that is about like loving nature, especially in a time when nature's being treated very much like crap.
Yeah, and I know that she even went forth with that with like Vonakura. She even had like the kind of VR kind of thing going. So this was like she had apps for this album's release. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Along with like weird. I mean, Björk always does a bunch of weird performance stuff, but yeah.
Well, that was really the start to her 2010s career because I feel like that she had like a lot of like technologically like centered like like ideations like we're gonna like fuse this together. Which I mean definitely check out the other 2 albums from this decade because they're also very good. But Utopia was also mostly produced with Arca, who is also a great producer, but like it's not as much a Björk album as it is like a Björk and Arca album. So I mean you're totally right about that.
Yeah.
I love the flutes on that though.
There's
Utopia, the flutes are amazing.
That is Björk.
Yeah.
Wait, she plays flute?
Yeah.
No, there's like 20 people are playing flutes. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it.
Björk does play flute.
Wow.
She plays fruit as
She
well.
probably also plays fruit. Yeah.
She works to find a way.
But okay, so then also 2011, Making Mirrors by Gotye.
Oh.
Now we all know Gotye as the like somebody I used to know guy, but the rest of Gotye's music is so dope, and I feel like people are missing out if they just think that Gotye is just the one song. Because man, the rest of his music is so good.
Yeah, he had some really like dope music videos aside, just like like the one that everyone knows too. Just like as an artist, like I feel like Gotye was like that one that like everyone missed out on like the other really good work.
Right, like you think he's like a one-hit wonder, but man, the rest of his stuff. He's a drummer primarily, which is weird. You wouldn't think so because he's just a great singer. But the Gotye project for him was just him doing like, let me see if I can produce some stuff. And he did and nailed it.
And then with Kimbra on top of that, it was overpowered.
Oh yeah. And if you really just want to cry, look up the video for Bront, Bronte. And man, it's a story about like a family whose dog passed away.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and it's like it consistently makes me cry. So I mean, just it's a really good video, and the song is just like really good and really sad, but yeah, it's dope.
I'll have to check that out later.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Do I have any 2012s in here? I don't. I have 2 from 2013. Going on more of like the more popular side. Woodkid, The Golden Age.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so were you introduced to Woodkid the same way that I was?
The Assassin's Creed trailer, Iron?
Yes. Ty, do you remember this trailer?
For which Assassin's Creed game? There's
Revelations.
Like 20 of them. Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
That was like the Assassin's Creed trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of artists that do that thing that Woodkid does, which is the like symphony pop music in a way.
Yeah.
And so he has like an orchestra playing his stuff, but they're really like good, well composed pieces, but are also like good, just like hype songs.
It's almost like Bastille could have like picked up a couple of like pointers from Woodkid.
Sure. And I mean, another artist that does that a lot is Sunlux, who I will be mentioning later. So
Love Sunlux too. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. But they did a tour together. I think around the same time that the Golden Age was released. And so they had like a few concerts that were kind of like symphonies where they had the whole orchestra playing all their stuff. It was really cool and one of a kind thing, but it's hard to do tours with an orchestra because you got to pay all of them. Mm-hmm. So it's understandable that they don't do that often.
That sounds like hell.
Yeah.
Or not paying them, but just like getting the whole thing together so it doesn't just collapse. I can barely hold myself up as one person. It amazes me.
Yeah, imagine being Mr. West and hiring a whole choir of 20 plus people.
Yeah.
To go with you on all those Sunday tours.
He did that?
Yeah, that's what he's done for the Jesus is King. By the way, Kanye's not in any of my top 10, so I'm not
on mine either, so it's fine.
Not even close.
Yeah. Okay, well, glad that we got that covered.
Yeah.
So there's no surprises.
So yeah, 2013. Also 2013. This is nerdy for me. Oh no, I do have a 2012, but I'll get back to that. 2013. Disasterpeace, FEZ. So
okay.
Yes, video game soundtracks. I know we're not like we're thinking about that, but
no, but FEZ is definitely an interesting one for all across the board.
Yes. So if you didn't know, if you haven't watched Indie Game the movie, FEZ is an indie game made by essentially two people, three if you count the composer, and it's a beautiful game with a lot of interesting like philosophy woven in there, and the soundtrack kind of helps tie stuff together with that philosophy. And it's a puzzle platformer, and there's a lot of sort of almost like augmented reality puzzles in the game, so that sometimes the game will give you a QR code and you'll scan the QR code with your phone and it'll take you somewhere and it'll like give you the answer to that puzzle. In that same way, in the soundtrack, if you open some of these tracks in a spectrogram, you will see images that are like their own puzzles in themselves in the soundtrack.
Are you also a big fan of the Hyperlight Drifter soundtrack?
Yes, so that's also Disasterpeace.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like at the point where like Disasterpeace got like really popular, because in that time he did FEZ, and then he did Hyperlight Drifter, and he did It Follows.
Oh. Okay.
And that was a really cool, different horror movie. And Disasterpeace didn't even like, he's not even like a horror movie fan. Just the director was a fan of FEZ and was like, I want to get this guy to score my film. And so it's like, it made for a really different sounding horror score, because
that's awesome.
He doesn't do, he's not like a fan of horror films. And so he had a different perspective on what to do with that. Yeah.
That's good.
That opening track from It Follows, that's a pretty banging track.
Oh yeah. But the soundtrack for FEZ is probably one of the albums that I've listened to the most ever, just like on repeat a whole lot, and I know it front to back. I'm a composer primarily, and one of my major goals is to compose music for video games. Mm-hmm. And so that soundtrack is one of my top favorite video game soundtracks because of how it works within the world, and it's just such a beautiful, like, meandering and wonderful thing that just give it a listen. It's so strange and cool, and like it's chiptune, but it's not. And it's a lot of like jazzy chords too, and not anything feels quite like home because he uses so many modes and stuff.
Mhm.
It's great.
Okay, I want to see what's next on the list because I saw a couple of things just out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just really excited to see.
So the 2012 that I missed, since my list here is out of order, Death Grips, The Money Store.
Yes.
Mouth album.
Yeah,
The Mouth album.
That's not the Math album. I think
Year
Year
of
of
the
the Snitch.
Snitch.
is
That's
the
Year of the
Mouth one.
Snitch, yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
I like The Money Store the most for some reason. I think it was, I mean, it's obviously before Death Grips like blew up. And so everything was just dirty and like, I don't know, they just like put everything out as it was rather than like taking the time to like polish it up, which is kind of how I feel about Year of the Snitch.
Year of the Snitch was definitely a lot more polished and a lot more like the most silent moments in any of the discography.
Whereas The Money Store had like just this raw punch you in the face energy while also just confusing the heck out of me with the lyrics. And so it's just a powerhouse of an album, and it definitely, like, even if it's not your cup of tea, I think it's at least worth a listen just to understand like what's going on in like the forefront of like avant-garde music. And it's like, it's not even that avant-garde, at least if you want to get into like the weird stuff, but like at least for what people actually listen to.
It feels like you're browsing the internet at lightning speed when you listen to Death Grips.
Oh yeah.
I mean, most definitely, a lot of the tracks on the Money Store I found to be pretty catchy. Like Hacker,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a banging song.
Hacker
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really catchy.
The whole damn thing is just a great punch you in the face ride. If you're doing cardio or something, just throw on some Death Grips and just go ham.
All right, I want to throw in a lightning round for Jackson because he doesn't have a list, but
Okay.
name an album, an honorable mention of the decade.
Okay, I've got several planned. So do you want me to just name one out of those
Yeah.
just for right now?
Yeah.
Okay. One that really made a big impact on me was Before Today by Ariel Pink. And that was released. That was when he started, I guess, doing Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti. And there's just a really good, cohesive amount of just really good, like, pop songs. And there's, like, a cover on there that's great of Bright Lit Blue Skies. You've got, of course, Round and Round. But you also have, like, Menopause Man, which has some really great synth work on it. You have Revolution's a Lie, which is, like one of his better, like, rock and roll punk kind of songs. And then you have, like, I think it's LS State, Widow's Maid or something like that, which is some of the craziest, like, rhythms and, like, keyboard parts I've ever heard. Like, it just sounds, I don't know if they altered it or sped it up in some way, but every time I hear that song, like, I'm blown away. But just that album is in my top 10, probably top 5 albums of all time. And it was a great entry point of Ariel Pink's, like, really versatile discography. And I guess that's it for that small tidbit.
That's awesome. Okay, now have we gotten through 3 albums that we've talked about for your list so far?
That was a good squeak. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 5.
5. Okay, we got
So,
through
yeah.
5. Okay. Let's go solid 3 more, and then because I'm just looking at the time right now because unfortunately we do have a time constraint in the studio, but whenever I make the post for this podcast, I'll include all of your full lists in it.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. So let's do a couple more, and then we'll move on to Ty's list.
Sure. Then I'll just pick my favorites from this thing.
Yes.
So I said I was going to mention Sunlux, so I will mention Sunlux. Bones, 2015.
Yes.
While I do feel like Brighter Wounds from, I think that was last year or a couple years ago, is a more impactful album. Bones is just a better, like, structure thing, like, as an album. And it's the first album that they got the two other people. It started out as just Ryan Lott as a composer and bringing other people in, but then they permanently got Ian Chang, who's one of the best drummers right now, and Rafik Bhatia, who is a killer guitarist. But Bones has a sound unlike anything else. Sunluck has a sound unlike anything else. They do that symphony rock, sometimes pop-ish thing, but they take these orchestra instruments and sample them and just mangle the crap out of them and just make beautiful, amazing sounds that like just penetrate into my soul.
I was gonna say, because like I know that Sunluck's made a lot of waves this decade, even like working with like artists such as like Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah.
And
they got sampled a lot.
They got
too.
sampled a lot. And do they even have a master's course, or am I making that up? Or
I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but like they do something else with music and production and composition. Like, you could call them songs, but they're more than that. So I mean, I've like hesitated to like perform any Sunluck's covers because there's just some things in the songs that just need to be there to make it that song.
yeah.
And man,
Not easily doable or replicated.
yeah.
Is it that type of thing where it's just got to be a certain way, or else it's just a big chunks missing?
Right. Like I can't quite get, a horde of flutes to make weird fluttery sounds while I'm singing or something.
Not without your $15,000 Prismizer.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Or whatever Francis and the Lights use.
Yeah. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say Radiohead, A Moon-Shaped Pool.
That's a tangential one for my list.
Yeah.
Ooh, I almost put that on there. I almost put it on there though.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny that we all thought about it, at least. That's good. And,
I mean,
and why a moon-shaped pool above all else?
Well, I mean, what year did King of Limbs
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
I won't say King of Limbs. It just wasn't enough. I love Radiohead's my favorite band, so I love everything that they make. Tom York could fart into a microphone, and I'd be like, "Yep." But A Moon-Shaped Pool. One is that I was waiting so long, like my heart was ready for more Radiohead. And this album came out shortly after Tom separated with his longtime partner, who then passed away like a year after the album's release. And just the whole thing is just it. I would be fine if this was Radiohead's last album.
Yeah.
Like they can send you out on
True Love Waits.
True Love Waits and just all right, I'll just weep until I die with this last album.
I think you're crazy. I want more Radiohead.
I mean, like, yeah, no, of course I want more Radiohead, but like, if this was their last album, I'd be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's exactly what like a band as iconic as them sort of settling into their grown-up selves and becoming more than the legacy that they are. I'm probably using extremely lofty language for people who aren't big fans of Radiohead, but this is how I feel about it.
Don't worry, anyone who's listening to this better like Radiohead, or why else are you listening?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut that off so short.
No,
We gotta move on to Ty's list, and Ty, you can like name off like 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Try to keep the justifications a little bit short so we can burn some more time for Jackson.
Okay, I'll just quick fire the first 4, and then I can talk a little bit about my top 6.
Okay.
So number 10 is Melody's Echo Chamber, Bon Voyage, that came out last year. That was pretty good psychedelic pop album. Lucy Dacus, No Burden. Pretty much all of this year, like, she had the best vocals of anybody. I think her vocals is really good. Owen, for any of those American football fans. Ghost Town, It's the name of the album. Deaf Heaven. That's a pretty good one for Ordinary Corrupt Human Love.
Yes.
That's the most recent one that they came out with. Okay. And now we're on to number 6. So number 6 I would put as Tim Hecker's Canoyo that came out last year, which I absolutely loved. I think it would be my favorite album of 2018, actually. It's a mixture of ambient electronic and Japanese court music, which is such a strange like combination. Like you never expected like ancient Japanese court music to pop up in anything, and yet here we are. And I think he pulled it off really well. The way that he manipulates, and I think like with the influence that he's pulling from, he didn't even manipulate it that much. It's just that he got this ensemble and he just told them, just play, just do whatever you need. And a lot of it's improv, and I find it to be incredibly engaging. The last 2 tracks, Sodium Codec Haze and Across the Anoyo, are some of the best music that he ever came out with. Let's see.
When you say court music, do you mean like theatrical Japanese music?
Yeah, the music that they would play for like emperors and.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that sounds really cool.
And then Anoyo came out this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the second part.
Yeah, it's kind of like an epilogue to Canoyo, which Anoyo is a pretty good album. I find it to be just almost as good as Canoyo. It's a little bit shorter, but
it's like Canoyo came out first, and it was kind of like the main part.
Yeah, with it's similar to Drop Pianos by Tim Hecker, the one that he released after Rave Death 1972, which is just a more bare bones kind of his music.
You just mentioned one on my list.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's see. Number 5 is Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want. So that came out last year as well. The reason why I put it at number 5, though, is because it kind of succeeded at what Canoyo did, which is terrified the hell out of me. That album I find to be incredibly anxiety-inducing. And normally, like, that kind of music, like, people are just kind of stay away, like negative feelings. But I view You Won't Get What You Want as sort of like a horror film that did exactly what it went out to do and did it perfectly. And so and also it's a pretty catchy album too.
What's your favorite track off of You Won't Get What You Want?
Oh, Ocean Song.
Ocean Song, definitely.
Well, actually, Long Road No Turns and Ocean Song. I think they're neck and neck for favorite song off of that.
Yeah, whenever I got that recording live, I was so happy to get the whole song.
Oh yeah, it is an awesome concert.
It was so good.
Okay, moving on to number 4 is Mount Erie's A Crow Looked at Me. So that album hits a very special place in my heart. The subject matter, if you don't know, like Phil Elverum is one of my favorite musicians ever, and I've been listening to many years from the Microphones, Glow Part 2, and Mount Erie. He has released music sporadically across past couple of decades. And unfortunately, with Mount Erie's A Crow Looked at Me, the subject matter is about the passing of his wife. And this album came out less than a year after she had passed away. And a lot of what's going on in the album is incredibly touching. It's also incredibly depressing. And it's backed by these like really like beautiful, like kind of like stark fingerpick guitar. And there's a few guitars like come up here and some percussion too, but mostly it's just like his guitar work. And I find his guitar work to be at its best on this one, even though it's considered much slower, but it's still set out to do what it did, which is be depressing as hell. And the lyrics are a mixture of forest, nature, and death at the same time. So I loved it. It's unfortunate that his wife passed away. So to this day, I still wonder why he even released this album. So
yeah, it's very intimate and almost feels like it's not a problem with the album at all, but like sometimes when you listen to it, it almost feels like so, like in the same way Sufjan Stevens' Carrie and Lowell is like, it's very, you have to kind of empathize with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
With Phil Elverum, I feel like it's not even a call to empathy. It's just like, here's what I've been dealing with this past year. It's like, listen to it if you want to.
Yeah, this is like his grief and suffering laid bare. And listening to this album, sometimes it feels kind of voyeuristic, like you're looking into something that you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he decides to do it. And, I'd like to get down to why he would release this album, because it is depressing and it is so personal.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, I would put Shaking the Habitual by The Knife. So that came out in 2013, and a part of my life where I started listening to like all different kinds of form of music, because before that I listened to a lot of Arcade Fire, Modest Mouse, and Radiohead. But The Knife, Shaken Habitual, was kind of like that album that came out where it was a mixture of house music, electronic, art pop, but they turned it into something that is much more demented and much more sadistic. It's a dark album, and there's a lot of parts of this album itself where it's kind of like ambient, and they're long. Like the centerpiece of the album is this 20-minute ambient piece that really doesn't fit anywhere, but they just decided to put it on there. A lot of tracks on are bangers too, like Full of Fire is easily like top 5 songs of ever on my list. So I really love that song. Give it a listen too if you're feeling up for it. It is kind of scary.
What is the title again?
The Knife.
Shaking the Habitual by The Knife.
Habitual. Okay.
Yes. So also like to mention like how different it is from their first, like they became famous from this one song called Heartbeats, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And like coming from the Heartbeats to Shaking the Habitual is such a huge like 180. And I'm kind of impressed like whenever an artist actually does something like that, where they kind of like turn a 180, like how Radiohead did with OK Computer and Kid A.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when artists do that. I think it goes to show how versatile that artists can be. And so The Knife really showed on that one.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to cut your list off too short, but if you want to finish the rest of it, that's fine. But I was going to maybe let Jackson get in like 1 or 2 more. And then I actually think that we have like a solid enough list of like mutuals that we could put together possibly a top 3 most agreeable album list, if you guys want to come to that conclusion. So do you want to go off the rest of the list that you're going to just like say the titles, like no justification, just
okay.
Yeah, just say the rest that you had on the list.
Number 2, Tim Hecker is Virgins.
Okay.
Love that album. And number 1, top album of the decade is Swans To Be Kind.
Yes.
So I love that album. Such a great experience. Everybody should listen to it at least once in their life just to see what's out there.
I love To Be Kind. Okay, now Jackson, do you have any more of your list that you'd like to go down?
Sure. I've got Advaitic Songs from 2012, and that was by a group called Ohm, which was a side project from Sleep Sal Cisneros, their bass player and vocalist. And it's basically the music Ohm usually does this kind of droney kind of world music, Middle Eastern influenced like metal. Ooh. Now, Advaitic Songs was like the most progressive and the least metal of their albums. And to me, that's what makes it shine, because you got like cellos, you've got tablas, you have violins, and very, very good like droney, like sitar, like keyboard parts. And not only do you have that, but you have this, like Al Cisneros plays this like 5-string custom like Rickenbacker. So that thing is just massive sounding on that record, and it was a big record for me in high school, and I love it to this day. Another one is Hyphenated Man from 2010 by Mike Watt and his Missing Men. Now, Mike Watt was in the Minutemen, Firehose, and plenty of other bands, but my favorite musician, fantastic bass player. But what Hyphenated Man is, and I could be getting this wrong, is Hieronymus Bosch, the Italian painter who does all the wacky portraits of hell and the walking
the Garden of Earthly Delights.
Yes, that one.
His famous triptych.
Yeah. Like, so Mike Watt took different characters from this painting. You have like arrow pierced Eggman, tree cradling man, and you have all these different little, mans to make up this like rock opera with all these crazy parts. Each song's like a minute and a half at most. And, Mike Watt being the powerhouse he is on bass is just amazing. You got Tom Watson on guitar and Rollo Morales on drums. Great lineup. Another album I'm going to admit, and I have two more here. Boards of Canada's Tomorrow's Harvest from 2013.
Ooh.
Not my favorite Boards of Canada record, but I mean, for the last album they've released so far, and then it being the last in the decade, man, that one packs a punch. It's very somber, and it was also inspired by the soundtrack for Day of the Dead by John Harrison, not George Harrison. Fantastic synth-based soundtrack and very doomy. A lot of people think it's very apocalyptic, but just each song is very cohesive, and it made a good impact on me. And then lastly, Replicas, I believe, from 2011 by 10 Tricks Point Never.
Ooh.
And this was an album I just listened to, and I've only listened to the whole thing through about once, but I will say this. I was on my back porch. It was like 60, 70 degrees to just right. And man, that was just tremendous listening. Very, very good, moody music. Once again, a very somber sounding record. The tones of the synthesizers and samples are just fantastic. And it's got a great album cover to boot with it. This vision of a skeleton looking in the mirror or something and like gasping. Anyway, that's it for me.
Okay, now this is interesting because out of all these choices, all these own personal choices that we've come up with here, I am seeing a pattern that maybe we could come in and maybe even put together a top 3, maybe top 4. Unfortunately, there's nothing on Jackson's list that was on my list pre-existingly, but I will say that Tomorrow's Harvest is a good one for me. I really like that Boards of Canada record, and I would say that 10 Tricks Replica. I guess I just forgot about that album coming out in 2011.
I had seen the album cover like millions of times on all these like music pages, and everyone was talking about it. And I never found out what that album was until recently. Also, another honorable mention, whatever that Garden album is, where it's the Joker in the mirror. Sorry, I had to say that. I had to put that one.
Oh, the Garden.
Yeah, sorry. That one was a fun one. Anyway, 10 Tricks Point Never. That Replica album is fantastic, and that cover once again is just I love it.
So pulling from Santiago's list, I think I'm automatically in favor of. Well, I would say the Money Store, but a Moonshaped Pool kind of takes a little bit of a higher ranking.
Right, and we had all kind of agreed in a way that like, oh dang.
Okay, so this isn't in any particular order yet, unless you want to put it in order.
Right.
And then pulling from Ty's list, I definitely got to say, well, your list matched with mine on Daughters You Won't Get What You Want. That was also on my list.
The other Scary Face album.
Yeah,
No, it's black and white.
I will say, looking at your list, that To Pimp a Butterfly is like, even if it's not mutually on all of our lists, it needs to be on the list.
It needs to be on the list.
It is a crucial work that
It really is.
It's also black and white.
Well, yeah.
Okay, now it's time to unveil the shroud of why I brought you all here today. And it's because I have a theory that the best albums of the decade all have black and white covers.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
Whoa. Okay. Well, let me see. Okay, well, The Money Store is in black and white. Golden Age, black and white.
Deaf Heaven, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love is black and white.
Splendor and Misery by Clipping is on my list, and that's in black and white.
That's in black and white as well. I was going to put Clipping on the list too.
Yeah. Which one?
Well, I haven't gotten really around to their latest album, but Splendor and Misery was definitely like.
Oh yeah.
That's like up there.
Tim Ecker, Virgins is black and white.
Is Virgins black and white? I think that 1970 or Rave Def 1972 is.
Oh, it's black and white.
Or it's like kind of like a burnt image, it's like black and white, but it could have some brown tinges in it. I don't know.
Sepia,
Sepia, yeah.
maybe.
Is it sepia or is it black and white?
It looks. I'd say it's black and white. I was just looking at this one, and it's like, oh, that might be black and white too.
Virgins is a little bit black and white.
Yeah.
No, it's actually this dumb theory that I had because I couldn't pick like my favorite albums of the decade.
Right,
so I was like, I wonder if like, because I was just noticing like a pattern in like all my favorite albums, like not all of them, but a lot of them were black and white covers, and I was like, maybe this is like an artistic choice that is like pointing towards some pattern of like patrician authority.
Peppa the Pig isn't in black and white.
Peppa the Pig is not black and white. Oh
but
no,
it's still the best album. So that kind of throws your theory out the window.
My theory is foiled by Peppa.
I mean, also on my list, Aromanticism by Moses Sumney. Not necessarily in black and white.
I love Moses Sumney,
but I mean, it's almost black and white. So I mean, because some of these are like close.
yeah. Exactly. No, I mean, like they're close enough. So, no, it's actually just a dumb theory. But I was gonna put up my list on Facebook and just like see if anyone noticed that all the albums that I chose were black and white.
Oh, all of them?
I put together my list to correspond to that theory.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the replica I just mentioned. I was looking at the albums as you were saying them, so I was like, oh yeah.
Interesting, right? not in any way like empirical, but
maybe it's because like those artists felt the message was strong enough within the album that they didn't need color to like contribute to like your perception of the album. It's like, no, this doesn't even need the extra push from my album art. I'll just give it to you with this, and you know that it's good.
Kind of like how Stevie Wonder like sees music in colors in his head.
But the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. The opposite portrayal. Stevie Wonder just like sketches you a beautiful image, and it's like he's like, you can add color later. That's what I always do.
So that means that it's the inverse is true. Then the more colorful album is the worst album. Like Chance the Rapper's The Big Day.
Oh, I mean, that was a pretty colorful album. I mean, it was just kind of like his hand and some earthy tones in the background. Like,
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot.
Coloring book.
Yeah.
Oh, coloring book.
Right. Also more color, but I mean,
I like coloring book better though.
Yeah. Well, album covers that have rainbows on them. I don't know if that's like another tier of like, since it has all of the colors, or are they just extra worse?
They're just extra bad. No, this is just like a fun little thing that I wanted to do.
Would we be able to like go around and like nominate a like #1 album of your decade?
Okay, we can. Wait, so #1 album of your decade?
Yeah, like for you, out of your list that you made, what is your #1? Like, I know you already sort of like listed them in an order. I didn't put mine in order because I didn't think of it at the time.
I didn't know that we could have done that.
Right.
That would actually been a lot easier for me.
No, I didn't want there to be an order actually necessarily. So I'm kind of glad that you guys didn't put them in order because
You can't pick a favorite child. It just isn't moral.
Yeah,
that's how I structured mine. It's like #1, Swans to Be Kind. Like, great album, by the way.
Well, that's fine. That's fine that you did that. Do you are you wanting
#1?
Wait, is it okay?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, go. Yeah, we should all go down in a line. This is how we'll close out the podcast.
My #1 would be, well, I'm a dummy. It was the first one I mentioned. It was Before Today by Ariel Pink.
Yeah.
Just the variety and the order of songs and just the impact it had on me. That one for sure.
I actually hadn't mentioned it previously, and you would think I would say A Moon-Shaped Pool, but it's actually Science Fiction by Brand New.
Oh, also kind of black and white.
Also mostly black and white.
Mostly black and white, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I needed that album.
Yeah,
like it's so Go ahead.
I love that one. For me, it would probably have to be Halcyon Digest by Deer Hunter, just because that album was like. It painted a myriad of images for me, like, but mostly it's just the atmospheric tones and some of the more laid down tempo tracks that kind of convey a portrait of just like the wilderness at night, like when you're out camping and like, the fire goes out, and like you're just kind of like with nothing but the coals at that point, and then you just kind of look up and you can kind of see like some like starlight coming in, but just like the atmospheric painting that they really portraying that album it's just one of the most beautiful pieces that I think the band has composed, and it's been an album that's been with me, and I can go back to it, and it sounds fresh every single time. It definitely doesn't sound like the year it came out in, which I believe was 2010. It sounds pretty timeless for what I can tell, and it was definitely Bradford Cox's like top level of writing and lyricism for the time too. So I would recommend checking that out.
So for number one, I already said this, is Swans to Be Kind. I think it's an absolute rock masterpiece. It's a genre bending, like it's like a melting pot really of like post rock, punk, and there's some ambient in there too. And it's probably the one most intense and most just so out there album that I've listened to this decade. But it's just so creative, and it gave me the concept. It gave the concept that you can have a 34-minute song and just have it build up, but the build up leads into some of the best climaxes ever. And a lot of songs nowadays are like 3 or 4 minutes long, and they're punchy, they're straight to the point. But Swans lets the songs breathe. They let it build up, and they leave room for it to actually have some atmosphere and some improv in there too. Like a lot of the songs like came out of improv from their touring, and really it's an experience that everybody has to at least go through like once before, just to see like, hey, there's music out there just like this, and it's ugly and beautiful at the same time.
It's like a Goya painting.
It's a Goya painting, yeah. And oh gosh,
or
yeah.
a Gira painting, we could say.
A Gira painting.
Gira. Do you guys have any honorable mentions before we go? Because maybe second in line.
Oh, well, I since I didn't say it out loud, I have to say the Transistor soundtrack by Darren Korb is.
Ooh, I'm glad you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said Transistor soundtrack.
That's my favorite game of all time, and the soundtrack is a large reason for it. But, yeah.
I'm glad I spoke up. Anything? What about you, Ty?
For honorable mention?
Yeah.
Or just number 2?
Yeah, honorable mention or number 2. Whichever.
Okay, well, number 2 is Tim Hecker Virgins. That album came out and told me, like, hey, there's music out there like this. And if you try listening to Tim Hecker Virgins, when you just graduate from high school and all you listen to is Arcade Fire, listening to Virgins is an eye-opening experience.
I think for me it would be Grouper's AIA, Alien Observer. That album is just nothing but calming bliss throughout, and it's just like it really feels kind of a similar reason why I like Halcyon Digest. It kind of like evokes those like feelings of like being out at night, like, but like it's more of like a stargazing kind of.
It's also in black and white.
It's also in black and white. Whoa!
Oh,
this guy might be onto something. Just kidding. It's a really dumb theory.
Jackson, you got like another honorable mention?
Goodness. Like I said, I'll say the. I feel so stupid because I should know the name of it, but I think it was their last album. Is The Garden. It is the album where there is a jester clown type figure looking in the mirror. Yeah, I mean it's the thing about that album is I just turn my brain off and I listen to it. I mean, it really is just them fooling around.
It's The Mirror Might Steal Your Charm. I haven't listened to this one yet.
Oh, it's fun. It was the first and only album I've heard by The Garden, and it was what got me introduced to their music because it's just, they call it Vada Vada, I think. It's like that's what they call their genre. It's kind of like how Magma made up, the I can't think what their name was, but it's the band makes up their own genre because they don't want it to be, have the normal genre classification. That's kind of fun. The way I describe it is weird samples and hardcore punk surf, rap, just a bunch of fun stuff. Right. And it's gimmicky in the best way possible. Yeah, like they have like some idiotic sounding like lyrics, but at the same time you get those like different like variations of like tones. Tones. Like I don't know what you'd call it, but just like sometimes you'll just get these like one-off like notes, and it's just like what synth patch are you using? Guitar. Yeah. And the way the guy plays bass, he plays this like really short scale Telecaster bass and puts like this like crazy surf reverb and distortion on it. It doesn't sound like any other bass I've heard. So they just have a really refreshing sound for.
And they perform in kilts.
Yeah,
So you got to respect that.
and jester makeup, and they have these 80s earrings, and they're twins.
Heck yeah.
One of the most fun shows I've ever been to. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about your list.
Me.
This has been really fun, and I look forward to being on Bit Depth hopefully before I can leave.
Oh yeah, please, thank you.
I'm so excited. Yeah, and this is the time where I shout out everyone that's doing cool stuff. I know that I can shout out Santiago and Bit Depth, and that you should check out his podcast. I'll give a link to that in this description.
I also make music, which you can find on my website, santiagoramones.com.
And similar in ability to find things, Chameleon Factory, i.e. Jackson Fritz, who performed at the beginning of this show. You should check out him on Bandcamp.
Heck yeah.
I believe it's just Chameleon Factory on Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yeah, you can find Ty Fan
Nowhere. I don't
off
have
the
anything to
grid.
plug. Yeah, I don't
Find
have
him at
anything to
Second
plug.
Wind.
Find him at Second Wind. Get him some coffee and have a good conversation.
I'll be down for that.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. I think we'd all be done with that. I want to go see if Second Wind is open right now.
Just don't get coffee.
Ha ha ha, outro. Ha ha ha. Well, thank you so much for being on the last ever episode of Sounds Welcome, at least for the time being. Yeah, this is a grand moment. How should we go out? Last time we went out, we did the Mario theme. We sang it.
How about Merry Christmas, everybody?
Happy holidays.
We wish you a happy
Holidays.
We wish you a happy holidays. We wish you a happy
holidays.
have a good holiday.
And a happy
Why
warm
are you not
Christmas.
saying Christmas? Wait.
Xmas, XD-miss. Rar.
Ernest saves Christmas.
Sounds welcome.